Link engaged.
Visit us at teamspeak.com.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Team Liquid TeamSpeak StarCraft 2 Open number 20. We're in the finals right now, Game 2 between Hack here in the 6 o'clock position, representing Team ZeNEXH as our blue Terran, against his opponent in the 12 o'clock position, Terius, aka Zephyr, going to be our red Zerg. So we are going to be on cross positions on Shadow Temple. Now, I believe this is TSL3 Shadow Temple, so we're not going to have close positions available in this game, so players don't have to worry about that. But what do you think are going to be the differences with cross positions as opposed to if we were at close air positions on this map?
Well, obviously close air is a little bit favorable for Terran because it opens up some really fun drop stuff and can make things like Banshees a little bit more effective. But in general, I don't think it's going to change the flow of the game too terribly much. I like this choice from Hack. I think this is a good map for Terran because the Zerg has to go through rocks to get a third base or expand somewhere dangerous. And it's easier for Terran to get through rocks than it is for Zerg. You know, Zerg wants to be making drone. Terran is going to naturally be producing units that can take out those rocks. So that's good. The other thing that's really nice about this map for Terran is the fact that basically once you're ready to take 3 bases, you can get that gold again. You know, this is a map with a gold base that can operate a little bit like the same sort of staging point that we talked about on ZeNEXHack. It doesn't give him as much control having a planetary at that gold, but it is a very easy to defend gold. So those are 2 things that Terran kind of likes. One stuff that sort of makes it a little bit okay for Zerg is the fact that these third bases are so far from the main. Just look at the distance. It's a lot of ground to cover, so mutas can be really, really good here. Drop play can be really, really good here. And just multi-prong Zergling harass can be really good here if you can get those rocks down. You know, the rocks on the other side of the third base. So I don't have a prediction for how this game might play out. There's a lot of really valid styles that could work for both players. But the fact that we see Hack going gas first makes me think he wants to do something with Helions and then probably transition into Marine Tank.
I also like how wide open this map is. It's probably one of the most wide open maps in the whole map pool in terms of when you look at the center of the map and look around. There's just so much huge wide open space, and I feel like a lot of Zerg players don't really utilize chokes or utilize flanks that well, so they kind of attack from one direction, which obviously isn't great in itself. But if you're going to be doing that, it's a lot better when you're on open terrain. You don't get choked into these funnel areas, and if you do want to set up a flank, it's a lot easier to do when it's that wide open. So that will give a nice kind of setup there for Zephyr. Now Hack is going to go for this quick factory after this barracks. So you think he's just going to rush up, get himself a Banshee? Or do you think he might try to do some type of really... Well, never mind. That answers my question. He's going to go ahead and add on the add on the reactor to the barracks. So he'll be switching that off to be able to actually get that those Helions out as soon as possible to be able to put some aggression onto Zephyr's front.
Yeah. Banshee's play has almost fallen out of fashion in TVZ just because it's so common for Zergs to get extra queens and early spore crawlers. Maybe not early spores, but early evo chambers. So I mean, it makes Banshee almost all in. It's really hard to come out ahead going Banshee these days. And if you're gonna go Banshee, it's almost always some kind of all in. So I don't expect any sort of Banshee play. We are going to see reactor Helions, and it's going to be just a Helion expand. Basically, we can see the command center already going down. So this is standard stuff. We'll see Helions out of our Terran player. Zerg can respond in a couple of ways. He can throw down a Roach Warren, or he can just make a couple extra spines and make sure that his ramp is secured. And it's really impossible to say what the mid game is going to look like. But again, I do feel like we're going to see Terran just move into Marine Tank and just play it that way.
Yeah, it certainly seems like he's going to be playing it standard from here. I mean, this build is so common, just going for these early Helions, usually just 4, and then they just stop making Helions, switch over to Marine Tank. So we can see already has the tech lab going up on that barracks. Now with those 4 Helions, he would might be able to poke in, but I mean, there's already a spine in position for Zephyr. Has that queen as well. So if Zephyr just uses, controls that queen well enough, should be able to deny those Helions from doing too much damage. That being said, I would like to see a second spine. If Zephyr had that spine more to the right and another one to the left, it would be a little bit safer. So he does have to worry about these Helions, running around past it to the natural.
Hack being really smart, running around the outskirts of the base, but accidentally letting those Helions come onto the inside of that little wall. Oh, nice block ramp, but Hack does get up. These Helions are going to be really, really rough.
Wow.
There's definitely going to be some drone roasting taking place here. We can see that already Hack has killed 10 drones. Oh my goodness, 12 drones. He's getting so far ahead with this. Excellent, excellent play here. And the way that he just skirted the outside of the base with these Helions is just so smart. He made sure that the Zerg player didn't see the Helions for the longest time, and because of that, he's been able to deal great damage, killing a lot of Lings as well. Look at this, these Helions are still alive. 3 Helions is the magic number to one-shot drones, so he's even going to get one more drone kill before the Speedlings finally get in there and clean him up. And, you know, Hack has to be very, very pleased with that exchange. He's now got 27 SCVs to the 26 drones of his Zerg opponent. And, you know, that's about as good of a trade as you could hope for from the Zerg player. But look at this. Immediately a Ling counter. Nope, he changed his mind, so the Ling's just going to poke up.
Taking you out.
Yeah, you know, if those Lings had gotten into the base, they could have maybe done something, but I don't think they were really any major threat. And I love this transition out of Hack. He realizes that he's done a lot of damage. He's going to transition into Helion, Marauder. This is so smart.
Absolutely. Obviously, the Spire is not going to be, you know, quick enough for Zephyr to be able to have Mutas out to deal with this. So pure, you know, Lings or Roaches are going to get, you know, absolutely demolished by this Helion Marauder composition. You know, Banelings as well. So I feel like this is, as you said, a great transition. He clearly, you know, couldn't have been really more successful than what he did there with that first attack. It was so well executed. And now he's going to come in with this super fast counter. Look at this. He's already going for the attack. It seems like just seconds ago that he was inside, you know, the Zerg base with those Helions. So he's really not giving Zephyr even a moment to drone. Obviously, Zephyr has been droning. He's still droning right now, but he's in a lot of trouble. This force is moving forwards towards his natural. All he has is one spine. I'm looking at the unit tab. Like, all he has is 10 Lings. That's it. One spine crawler, 10 Lings. I can't see him actually defending this push.
Oh no, there's no way, man. All the drones being pulled, Queen's being pulled as well. Look, all these drones are going to die. Spire not even going to finish. And Hack, man, absolutely beautifully played. GG out of Zephyr. Oh my goodness, that was excellent play, man. Hack opening up with the Helion expand, very, very standard sort of style in TVZ. Me personally, I always tell Zerg players to throw down a Roach Warren when you see one gas, because you want to have it just in case. You know, 3 Roaches would have completely averted all of that. But Zephyr kind of playing a little bit greedy there, didn't throw down any sort of Roach Warren, and as a result of that, you know, wasn't really equipped to deal with the early Helion harass. But the really beautiful thing was the transition.
Oh yeah,
he said, absolutely. "Hey, I did damage. I'm gonna go kill you. I'm gonna go kill you now." I mean, think of PvZ, Orb. If you send, you know, 3 zealots into my base and kill 8 drones, you're gonna, oh shit, I'm just gonna 6-gate and it's gonna be easy. You know, and it's just like it's such a smart thing to recognize that you've done damage, recognize the fact that Zerg has to drone harder, and then punish that. So beautiful play out of the Terran player.
Absolutely, and I really like, you know, what we were talking about earlier on about, you know, just not playing it safe enough, playing a little bit too greedy. You know, maybe go for an earlier Roach Warren there. If you're not going to go for the Roach Warren, it's understandable to not want to get that early on. But if you're not going to go for it, I think you absolutely need that second spine. Or if you're not going to do that, you know, you got to expect. I mean, this Helion play is so ridiculously common in TVZ right nowadays that you really got to expect that to be coming. And either, you know, get that second spine, you know, try to set up some kind of SimCity with your Evo chamber or something, or at the very least bring your queen down from the main to help your natural queen block the ramp. If you had both queens there, you could have, you know, fully blocked the ramp and prevented any of that from happening. As it was, he used one queen and drones, and it wasn't quite able to, you know, block them off after they killed the one drone blocking them. They just skirted past that queen. So just a little bit too greedy there from Zephyr. Maybe if he had reacted just a little bit quicker. But yet again, that comes back down to the fact that he sent those Helions all the way around the side of the map, which is so smart. And as you said, of course, that transition was just so good. I know I've watched so many games where Terran players will, you know, do that early harassment and get a couple drone kills early on, but then they'll just kind of continue macroing and just play as if it never happened. And, you know, end up, you know, yeah, taking a quicker third maybe, but not really take as big of an advantage of it. And I think the way that Hack, he didn't even do some kind of standard transition, you know, like, I'm going to go kill you now with Marine Tank. He went straight to Helion Marauder, and I think that was just the perfect thing to do in that situation. So, well done by him. He is going to even up the series now to 1-1, which is always exciting to see. So we will be moving into Game 3 to see who can take the advantage at this point after a quick commercial break.